Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through a deload lower workout. So my first exercise here is manta ray squats, and I built up to 2 triples at 150 kilos, which is only 75% of my 1 rep max on the manta ray squats. Now I chose these because they force me to do a high bar, which keeps my back more vertical and makes me send my knees further over my toes. And what I really wanted to do here was test out my right knee. So if you've been keeping up with the series, you'll know that I've been working through a right knee injury and it's starting to feel really good. I'm basically getting back to full training now, but doing these forced high bar squats with that blue manta ray attachment forced me to use my knees more. Basically, when you do a low bar, you can send your hips backwards and use more of your glutes and hamstrings and posterior chain, but I was testing out the knee here. It all moved very smoothly, very easily. I could have definitely done more reps if I wanted to, but just taking it easy and mobilizing the knee and just testing it out on this deload week, feeling very good for next cycle where I'm going to be doing dynamic squats, so feeling prepared for that. So my first accessory here is hip extensions with the 50 kilo weight plate. Buying these weight plates has been fantastic because I can basically only hold one plate while doing this exercise, and if I had only lighter plates I wouldn't really have been able to overload this as heavy as this. I think I did sets of 15 which were challenging for me. Maybe I went too hard for a deload week because I do have hamstring soreness today at the time of recording this voiceover, which is the day after, but I think I'm going to be able to recover easily for my next block of training, which of course is the purpose of a deload. And in future I'm going to want to overload these even heavier, so I'm looking at the Gym Pin company have something called a hyperloader, which I'm considering investing in, which is like a set of handles that you can plate load, and I think I'll go heavier into like 100 kilo hip extensions in future for like sets of 6. I think that's really going to help unlock my deadlift, developing the glutes and the hamstrings and helping my lockout power, which is my weakness on deadlift. So looking forward to working through that. And if you're wanting to overload your glutes and hamstrings more and do heavier hip extensions, check out the Gym Pin company. I'm not sponsored or anything, I just think it's a really good idea and product. They're on pre-order now, so it might be a while until they're fully available. But for my hip extension as well, I don't have room to the side to like hold a barbell to overload it. So for me, it's perfect. So yeah, I suggest you go and check that out as well. They make other great products as well, like the drop set pins that I have and that I've used throughout these videos. So the next accessory here, as you can see, is single leg quad extensions, and I felt really happy with these. I think I did sets of 12 with 60 pounds, which is quite easy for me. I think normally I can do sets of 12 with about 80 pounds when I'm feeling perfect, but this was a great step in the right direction again for my right knee and working through that right knee injury, because usually quad extensions are very taxing on the knee. They are literally isolated knee extension, so they target the quads great, but they also put a lot of pressure on the knee. So the fact that my quad fatiguing was what made me stop the set rather than knee pain was fantastic. And at the time of recording this voiceover in the following day, my knee feels amazing. When I do these sensibly, my knee feels more strengthened and it's actually helping to rehab that knee. So I was very happy with these sets and the benefits I'm definitely feeling today. This left side here, I was able to move the weight faster and it was easier. I mean, it was further away from failure, but that is to be expected. And if you always do dual leg quad extensions, I suggest you give single leg quad extensions a try, because it can really show you if you do have a quad imbalance. I figured out that on regular quad extensions, what I was doing was kicking the weight up and doing the concentric more with my left leg and then the eccentric more with my right leg. So whatever your imbalance is, there probably will be a small imbalance, but I suggest you train single leg quad extensions if you've never tried them, because of the nature of the quad extension machine and the fact that it moves up as one, it can often disguise muscle imbalances. Unlike something like a bench press, the bar will be lopsided if you were unbalanced. You'd actually be able to see it even though it's a large compound movement. The quad extension can be cheeky and it can hide your muscle imbalances. So I suggest you try single leg quad extensions. The next accessory here is calf raises. Now, these are the only ones I went really heavy on, and that's because my calves always feel good. Like, I can almost never properly fatigue them, so I just train them on a deload week like I normally would. So I decided to do some heavy sets of 6, and right at the end of this set, I think I do some bounces here just to eke out a little bit more fatigue in the calves. Honestly, the main hard point of heavy calf raises like that is racking and unracking the weight. Then I move on here to my hip adductions, roller hip adductions. I didn't go as low as I could have gone, which is how I progressively overload this exercise. So it's the equivalent of going a bit lighter, is not going as deep. And I only did them for like sets of 5, I think, or sets of 4, I can't remember. But these felt good. My adductors since starting this exercise have definitely got so much stronger. Like, the depth I'm able to achieve now, even though I'm not going fully to depth, is way deeper than I was able to go down to when I first started doing them. I only really started these at the beginning of this year when I started this series, but I've noticed my adductors get way stronger, and the adductor muscles are getting much bigger. Now, it does make my thighs are bigger, and that's why I always have to buy like loose trackies, because I'll just split the base of my trousers if I try and walk around normally. But that's just an occupational hazard of powerlifting if you get big legs. But yeah, developing the adductors, it's often an underrated muscle, the same as the abductors and your glutes on the outside. I definitely suggest you do those as accessories if you're trying to get strong. Just generally building all the mass you can on your legs when trying to get strong for squatting is always going to be a good idea. So last accessory here is the reverse hypers. I did maintain my normal working weight here of 150 kilos, but I only did them as sets of 12 rather than sets of 15. These were great, just pumping up the spinal erectors and glutes and hamstrings. And I actually felt these up in my top traps as well. That's because I lift my head up and try and contract all of my back from the top of my spine all the way down to where the weight is attached on my calves there. And that's because I just generally want to develop and strengthen the entire posterior chain. So it is a bit weird for an exercise that's normally lower back. I did feel this a lot in my traps as well, but it's all good, all great stuff, all building strength. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that great stuff, and have a great day.